MCDONALD. I'm a sergeant over the LTS and Fellow Stop and Render Aid Crash Unit here at APD. Ask one of you guys kind of to lead this thing off, because it's not like so much of a press conference as it is.
So why do these crashes happen?
I mean, crashes happen all the time. Why people leave, that's a different question. I can't explain that. But we do get a ton of these every month / every year. And it's, as the population grows, we're seeing more of these crashes.
Is it an attitude or a habit in a fast-growing city? What's your experience tell you about people's mental processes with this?
You know, there's many different reasons. Sometimes they're just scared, sometimes they're drunk, sometimes they may have warrants, sometimes they don't have insurance. There's a plethora of reasons of why they get it in their head that they want to leave. But to me, there's no good reason to leave a citizen laying on the ground injured behind and not rendering help.
Typically, even if you're without insurance or a license or have a warrant out for your arrest, it's still better to stop?
Yes, because not having insurance is just a citation. When you injure a person and leave the scene, that is now a felony.
How difficult is it to solve these kinds of cases?
It can be very difficult because, like the one we had last night involving the pedicab, with the speeds, tinted windows, if you don't get a look at the driver, the people that got hit, they're disoriented. They're not going to be able to get a license plate. So unless you have a good witness, but you know, the reports were the vehicle is traveling 50 miles per hour. It's very difficult to get a license plate with the vehicle going that fast. So it's very difficult to get leads to follow up on.
And how, we understand, we spoke to the owner of the pedicab company who said that where it happened was around plenty of buildings with cameras in the area. How much are you guys gonna be relying on video in this particular, hang on before you answer that question. How much will you be relying on video in this case to get the license plate number to track this person down?
Unfortunately, even though maybe the incident was captured on video, it has to actually focus in on that license plate. So most of those cameras don't do that. So we're not gonna be able to get a license plate based off of those cameras just from what we've seen in the past, because they're just not focused in like that.
So from this particular incident last night, not to back you into a corner, but I'm going to, are you suggesting that you guys really don't have anything to go off of other than the basic description of the car and whoever comes forward to help you solve this case?
That's true. That is a true statement.
So it's gotta be frustrating because we understand there are lots of these kinds of cases. For you as the person working these cases.
You know, we're very fortunate the person last night should make a full recovery. Not everyone is that lucky, and it is very frustrating when someone refuses to accept responsibility and stay behind.
So is it a matter, I had a comment from the pedicab owner who said he wishes there were more police resources, more detectives and investigators to look into these cases more actively. Is that a concern or a frustration you share?
It is. You know, I'm not gonna go into the numbers, and you guys have those, but I have 3 detectives that investigate these crimes. So you can't put so much time and effort into them because you have vacation where these special events where detectives get called to work them, and so they get behind. 3 is not enough in my opinion, but we do the best work with what we have.
And so is there any other kind of new investigative technique you're using to help solve these?
Unfortunately, because even if you get a license plate, you still need a witness that can put that driver behind the wheel. It's not always the registered owner driving the car. Sometimes they loan it out, sometimes it's a child or the spouse. So unless you can actually identify the driver, that's the only way we can file charges on the person that was driving the vehicle. So, you know, unless we get so far advanced to some of these TV shows, we're never gonna get there.
We all watch a lot of TV, and you know, we're all looking to go to that body shop or that auto shop where there's a BMW with front end damage. I mean, I guess that would be maybe advice you could leave with the community to, if you see something. Is that really kind of where we're left with this?
It is, and we've actually had cases like that where it's helped us solve cases. Body shop owners call in because the story that the person gave did not add up, and they felt like it was more of a person than an animal, and we've actually solved some cases that way. The only way we really get to solve these cases is citizens' input. So we just, you know, don't just drive around with your heads and saying, if you see something, try to be a good witness, get us information that will help us, work the case and solve the case.
And
So
in
what
this
are the
particular
laws
case-
regarding,
sir,
oh, go ahead.
In this particular case, can you just tell us what you're looking for so that we can relay that information?
So in relation to the pedicab crash last night, the only description we have is a dark colored BMW, possibly blue or black. They think maybe it's a 5 Series, 2011 or newer.
So
And
what
you
is the
said
law?
that, sorry, and you said that the witness did, that both the pedicab driver and the victim did get a look at the driver or did not?
Did not. So we have no identification on the driver. We don't know if it's male or female.
So what is the law regarding pedicabs? Do they have as much right to the road as a car does?
Again, just like a bicycle. From my understanding, this pedicab started off in the bicycle lane and then was just moving over to make a left-hand turn and already established themselves in that lane when they were rear-ended. So they have as much right to the road, yes.
And so looking at your data, obviously these hit and runs happen a lot. What about the pedicab hit and runs? Do you experience that a lot?
Not so much. The ones that are getting reported, this is only the second one that I've read since September, so we don't get a lot of those.
But as Austin continues to grow and more of these events keep coming, even though it's a rare occurrence, I mean, is there some fear that this is going to happen more frequently?
I wouldn't say there's a fear. I don't want to scare the public. But unfortunately, you know, South by Southwest draws people from all around the world, not just the state of Texas or Austin. People come here from outside of the United States. They have different laws, whatnot. Not saying this is a foreigner by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, if people could just take responsibility for what they do, stay at the scene, that's what's going to solve these issues. We're not out trying to arrest everybody. Collisions happen, accidents happen. But don't make it into a criminal matter by leaving the scene.
Can you explain the difference between failure to stop and render aid and leaving the scene, what the difference between those two terms may mean?
Yeah, so a failure to stop and render aid is actually a case that involves injury to a person. And leaving the scene is just property damage. You damage someone's vehicle, or you strike their mailbox or a fence, or even a building. But that's the difference. Injury, just damage. And one's a felony, one's a misdemeanor.
Just to clarify, the pedicab was traveling southbound on Congress and going to make a left-hand turn into the Austin Statesman?
That's what I read, yes.
And so rear-ended means that the offending vehicle that was going southbound as well?
Correct.
Just to be clear.
Correct.
Anything else? Thank you.